And we are back for another live episode of the Kingdom. We got a special one tonight. We got local knowledge featuring Rossman Lake Golf and Country Club. We would like to welcome all of our guests, listeners, watchers, anybody across this beautiful country of ours. We'll name all the provinces because we don't have time. We got a shitload of shit to get through tonight. So let's get to her. We'll see you in exactly 30 seconds.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Kingdom. As always, my name is Drums, and I'm joined by the brothers behind King Golf, Regan and Jordan Headley. As we do about this time, we send it up north, see what's happening with our boy Reg. Reginald, how are you, my friend?
Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing? Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Glad to be spending it with you.
Broke the date in half tonight, or in three-quarter, I guess it would be. Had a nice little steak supper and some wine and gin, and had to cut it short to come on with you two idiots, but that's all good, I guess. Other than that, things are buzzing right along here. It seems like we're getting closer and closer to spring every day. 6 o'clock tonight, still very bright out with the sun, which is incredible to see for the mental health and I guess just how close we're getting to spring. It's starting to feel like it's March weather outside. It's unbelievable. Yeah, going to play a sim this weekend and in Rossman. Haven't been there yet, so looking forward to that on Saturday. Shine the clubs up
Swingers
and get
Club.
There. Hell yeah!
All right, beauty. Speaking of, what's happening out at Swingers Central over there in Rossman?
Top of the evening to you, ladies and gents. Happy Valentine's Day to all the Valentines out there and all the lonely hearts watching the Kingdom tonight. I wonder who's tuning in tonight on Valentine's. I don't know if we'll be too busy tonight, but that's okay because the good news for the people out there is that this is recorded. You can watch it. You can always refer back to this. And we're hopefully going to provide a bit of tips, some insights from the Rossman Lake Golf and Country Club. But other than that, not much. I'm excited for some golf this weekend as well. I haven't golfed as much as I should have this winter. I don't know. It's been busy every weekend. Got something going on, but it's also hard to drag your ass out of the house in the wintertime. I feel, anyways. So we got a good show tonight, though. I got a page full of stuff here. We got the Rossman Lake. And so let's get to the business, Drummy. How you doing?
Good over here, boys. Kind of just in the let's get going. Like you said, Reg, it's definitely staying brighter later, so that gets you excited. The warmer weather, although it is a little cooler this week, but seasonably we'll definitely take this. So, like, things are just about here, right? Like, we're just about in March, and then when March hits, let's ride, baby. So no, just kind of trying to get through this last little bit here, boys, and make her to it.
Today I was driving along and I was actually washing your car. Your voice came through good while you were talking, but now I saw your face went all blurry. But you say a swear word or something, you get blurred out.
Shadow.
No, I went to wash my truck today and I was like, I shouldn't do that. It's super cold out. Like it was -10.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what a winter, man. I think we had like 3 days colder than -25 this whole winter. Like
it was like 2 weeks really where it was kind of, I would even deem it winter, really.
No. It's been unbelievable. This has definitely been the best winter ever for a lot of reasons, like weather, and it's just it's tolerable. I feel like if it was like this every winter, the population of Manitoba would probably double or triple.
Pretty
just for the summers we have here, yeah. So
I agree, and it seems like all the places that are usually warm right now are cold.
Yeah, like Mick's in Mexico right now. He's been there for the week, and he said it's been like. I said, "How bad is it?" And he's like, "It's you don't want to jump in the pool bad."
Mom and dad are there right now too, and I was just talking to them after supper, and I was like, "Well, how's the weather, Dad?" Shit. So I don't know what's going on down there. In-laws just got back last week from down there too. They went to Watuco, and traditionally it's pretty. There's like 2 days of the year where they have shitty weather, and they had like 3 on their vacation. So
Oof.
I don't know. Maybe maybe this carbon tax is paying off up here. Who knows?
No, it's the carbon
for
rebate
sure.
now.
Right. Sorry.
It's not a tax anymore.
I'll take.
We'll
take
take
any
it.
dollar we can get back, baby.
No, we're not falling for that trick. But anyways, let's get to her. We got a lot to get through tonight. So let's start with the cheers.
Yeah,
Who's doing it?
I was gonna do it, but I feel like you guys were. I was watching the Super Bowl while you guys were watching that, so I can't really comment on how clutch he was down the stretch. It looked like he made 5 birdies in the last 6 holes, including the 2 playoff holes.
Yes, so tonight's cheers is going to be to our fellow Canuck, our fellow Canadian, arguably the best golfer in Canada right now, the hottest for sure, and that is Big Dick Nick Taylor. Taking on the Waste Management. What a shit show the Waste Management was. We'll take a breather on that one, but good to see. He took down one of our the podcast favorites, Charlie Hoffman, in a playoff. 2 playoff holes I think he needed. He birdied, as Reggie said, the last 5 out of 6 holes, including 3 birdies in a row on the 18th hole at TPC Scottsdale. So one heck of a performance. I feel like this guy is it's going to be hard to stop. I think that I don't know. We've kind of had those 4 or 5 guys in Canada. It seems like between Mac and Hadwin and a few other guys coming in and out of there. But Connors. But it seems like Nick Taylor has kind of cemented himself in the one spot there. I don't know what the rankings show, but what's that?
AC's got to be up there.
AC's got to be in the mix too.
Taylor's actually ranked third overall in the international team right now.
Nice. Pretty good year to be getting hot with the President's Cup coming to Montreal in September this year. So he picked a good time to get hot.
You're right though, Jor. Like he's kind of always the forgotten name. Like he's always Hughes, Connors, that are the top of the list. They're always kind of first in everybody's sights, right? And now he's got more wins than everybody, right? Like he's kind of crept in there. 2 absolutely massively clutch performances in playoff holes, just outstanding with the RBC Canadian Open and now at the Waste Management. So just shows how absolutely clutch of a putter he is. I feel like a lot of those other guys have really good aspects to their game. Like Connor's absolute stick with his irons. Maybe it's the putter that it's missing. So it seems like Nick Taylor's kind of become the most well-rounded of everybody, and obviously showing with the wins.
Yeah,
I feel like we've talked about it over and over and over on this podcast, but putting wins championships. I mean, clutch putting, but putting in general wins championships. And I feel like he's proven, I mean, that you can't really consider whatever it was, a 72-footer to be a clutch putt, because you're hitting that trying to get it close and a win in. But the putts it looked like that he made down the stretch, I mean, he made the putt to get into a playoff on 18, and then he made the next 2 on 18 as well. I mean, those aren't by accident. I mean, we sit here on the podcast and act like a 10-footer is nothing. But if you ever have a 10-footer for any kind of anything on the line, $5, $10, your match and men's night, like your arms are shaking. And this guy made all the 3 putts in a row with the tournament on the line. Like, that's stones, man. And if he can do that, that's what separates the winners. We've said time and time again, that's what it takes to win the big tournaments. And we've talked that Schauffele doesn't have that. That's why he doesn't have the titles that he should have. There's a few golfers on the PJ even Connors. I mean, if Connors had any kind of putter, the weeks that he has had a putter, he's won. And it seems like Nick Taylor has that it factor on the greens, and it's that if he could start hitting the ball like he has been, and he has that putter, man, that's dangerous. Like it's really
Fleetwood
good,
too.
really good stuff.
Fleetwood's an infamous lame putter compared to the rest of his game.
I was gonna chirp him too, but he actually clutched up and made that one against Taylor in the playoffs the first time. But
Right.
he's since won. But yeah, he's an infamous putter choker.
Yeah, no shit.
But anyway, so let's finish off where we started and give a big cheers to Nick. That's special, man. Unreal.
Cheers to that. Cheers to Canada golf. It's hot. It is pretty impressive just how far everything's come in the last 5 years. It seems like the whole landscape in golf here in Canada has changed quite a bit.
He's had two of the better celebrations too. The RBC one, even on Sunday, like just whip the putter down. It's like, what's up?
That was an underrated celly for sure, because he never damaged the greens at all. He just threw the grip down like a kind of a bat flip style deal. But it was
how
good
crazy how crazy was it that Hadwin was wearing the exact same outfit as at the RBC?
Was he?
Yeah, exact same outfit, same hoodie,
I didn't notice that.
Same pants. Yeah, he actually tweeted about it afterwards. Too. He's like, "Yeah, I know I was wearing the same thing. You guys can stop tweeting me."
Do you think it's a coincidence? I think there's somebody who has gotten very heavily involved in the last 5 to 7 years in Golf Canada. I don't know if it's a coincidence or there seems to be one guy that's coaching a lot of these guys that are having success, and I don't think it's coincidence. Obviously, DI is doing incredible things for Golf Canada right now and golf in the whole country. It's incredible. It's actually like it's the guys that we know, and then it's the guys that are up and coming right now too. Which I mean, you could consider as much as we consider Cockrell. It's cool that he's doing what he's doing. Like he's a serious up and comer in Canadian golf right now. Like he has brought himself into the conversation about, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of one of the next ones to come onto the tour. I mean, we always underestimate how long the journey is to get to the PGA, and you don't really realize it until you're following somebody right from the start. Because all the guys that we see, the first time that we really see them is when they're on the PGA, and we don't see how they got there. We don't see all the steps they took to get there, but they all have big journeys. And we've kind of been privy enough to watch Cockrell all the way through, and it's kind of he just keeps like blossoming into this. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see him having major success on the PGA in the next 5 years, honestly.
Well, you know what's going to help that quite a bit? Significant amount of the PGA guys leaving.
Yeah, true.
Frees up a lot of space. A lot of space. If a guy like Cockrell was, sneaking in there or trying to get into it, like that's a big deal, honestly. Like,
and it might actually come to a point too where does he want to go to the PGA? Maybe the money's not like things change and the discrepancy in money isn't as different if guys are going back over that way. Maybe the money changes a bit. So if he's over there, enjoys the traveling, that type of thing, it's kind of a different lifestyle, but like you could certainly get into it too. There'd be people that absolutely love that lifestyle.
So I think he's probably over it now though with a daughter. I'm sure they'd like to be a little bit closer. That's a long flight over there every time.
No.
Yeah.
Just for a weekend. So I'm sure if you had a gun to his head right now, he would take PGA. But yeah, that's a good point, Drums. And I think he's pretty fortunate and lucky to be able to experience that in life. Get through, to go through playing all those old courses in Scotland and in Europe and even in South Africa. Like that's pretty cool to be able to earn a paycheck and do that for a living.
Kind of sick, actually. I booked a place in Mallorca today. It's that island in Spain. Because we're going there first before we go to Portugal, and I'm actually going to play at the course I believe that Cockrell played at in the finals of the Challenge Tour. So
nice,
pretty sick. It's actually really close to our place we're staying, so pretty sick.
Really?
Did a little research on it today. Kind of cool.
Okay, let's do we got any housekeeping non-golf stuff? I have a couple. First one I have is I was watching the golf on Sunday, or I was trying to watch the golf. It wasn't on the usual method I could watch it. I don't know. It seems to be blacked out for some reason. And Golf Channel wasn't
No, it's
showing it.
NBC that blocks it out.
Yeah,
They make
NBC
you
was
watch it from the
blocking it.
home receivers. Is that what I was saying?
Yeah, so it didn't even have an option there for me. So, anyways, I just Googled it, and I found a website called golfstreams.me, and I'm pretty sure you could watch any golf event from that website. I mean, you guys have your boxes and stuff, but I don't have one of those. So this is something that I found just online, golfstreams.me. So I thought that'd be a good resource for people if they're like me and don't have cable TV anymore and want to watch some golf.
You can't just be telling people how to pirate shit yet.
Live on the internet?
Donkey? Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I've done a lot worse things on live internet for sure than that.
Oh boy.
What do you mean, oh boy?
We won't get into that.
You've been here for all of them. Good evening, Trev. Happy Valentine's Day, brother. And the second one here that I wanted to touch on for housekeeping stuff before we get into the golf is Hardy. Hardy came out with another single, and a Canadian band. You guys might have heard of them before, Nickelback. They're actually not they're not in the song, but they're in the song. So it's called Rockstar. It's kind of about Nickelback in a roundabout way. So pretty cool. He was touring with Nickelback for a while, so I'm sure that inspired the song. But I just like the fact that Nickelback is starting to get a little bit of street cred. I think it's very long overdue. I've been saying that for many years now that they don't get nearly enough attention. I mean, this is probably an unpopular take, but I think the Nickelback is probably the best rock band in Canadian history, if not the best. I don't know who you'd put in front of Nickelback.
Everybody always says the Hip, right?
The Hip,
They're way better than the Hip, in my opinion.
I agree. Hip probably would be number 2. A lot of people say Rush too, but I mean
Rush is a different music too.
It is.
No, man, Headley's pretty good.
Headley was good, actually. Like, no jokes.
He was a bad boy, though. Very bad boy. But no, like, Nickelback is getting a ton of cred. Like, they're it wasn't at the All-Star game, but it was something to do with the NHL. And Connor McDavid was pumping them up and made sure it was the outdoor game. So he made sure that they were like the band that played. Said that they're his favorite band and shit. So yeah, 100% they're Canada's best.
Yeah, I agree. Good. We're on the same page with that.
What was your thoughts on the Super Bowl, Reg? Did you watch it all, Jor?
That was sick. As much as I try all the time to not like the Chiefs, and I try all the time not to like Patty Mahomes. Good God. Like,
it's unbelievable.
Holy God. That guy is incredible. He might actually be one of the best athletes of our time. He probably is the best under pressure athlete of our time.
Yeah, week this week they've put him up there with Brady, Tiger, Serena, like everybody.
How rigged is the NFL though?
That's the craziest like conspiracy to get into because it adds up at every corner.
I was watching it on my phone, like the scores, and I pretty much knew what was going to happen before it happened.
Well, like, I mean, this could go on forever, but like as soon as that Taylor Swift shit started going on, you knew exactly then. Like it was predicted right then. And of course, that gong show happened, and so did
it's easy to say stuff like that too. It's easy to make a conspiracy out of a lot of things. You could look at a lot of different things in that making the NFL a conspiracy, but you could also just watch the football game and see that they're all human beings making mistakes or making big plays under pressure. I don't know.
It's not just NFL though. Like NBA is pretty notorious for this. I can smell it in some things with the NHL too. Like there's no way Chicago should have ever had a chance to have a first pick last year at all.
Okay, but then you could also, there's two ways to look at it. You could try to look for a conspiracy and everything, or just take the entertainment for what it is, and not look into
Yeah,
that
but
shit and realize that it really doesn't matter.
Very true. But sometimes the conspiracy is like part of the fun too.
No, I know. You know what I'm saying though? Like, I don't know. I'd rather just enjoy the sports and take it for what it is. And if it is scripted, then good. It's still exciting as hell to watch.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe it's
I'm
better
saying
if
I'm
it's
still
scripted.
like, yeah, obviously it's the biggest form of entertainment in the world. So
Yeah.
everybody loves it, script or not.
Patty Mahomes won me some cash on Sunday. Anyways, I bet on him to be the MVP when they were down quite a bit. I bet on the Chiefs when they were down quite a bit. So it was nice to see Patty come through for the boys and Patty come through for me.
What'd you think of Usher?
Usher is sick. Usher is sick. Not was sick. He is unreal, man.
So
Wow.
good. I still only give it like a 7, but man, the
Yeah.
fucking how many songs does that guy have? Banger after
Unreal,
banger after
man.
banger. How about like how good is he on roller skates?
And how
I
about
didn't know
that he
people.
looks the exact same now as he did when I was like grade 7. Like that's a long time ago.
Yeah, like he's looked the exact same
Looks the
since he was
exact
like
same.
16 years old. Black don't crack, apparently.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. That was impressive. Yeah. Good show. Like
It was
you
good.
brought up.
First half was boring. I missed kind of most of the first half, keeping up with the golf, and then yeah, shit started popping off in the second, and it was a hell of a game.
Little John, did you watch the whole performance?
Yeah.
When he like came up on the stage and he just looked like he was lost, like he came up the wrong side of the stage or something. And all of a
I
sudden he was
didn't
just
get to see
like in
that.
the middle, like right beside Usher, and he just gave him like a bro shake and just walked off the other side of the stage. It was hilarious.
Have you seen like the memes? Like some guy got absolutely launched into like at the moon as soon as like the concert started. There's like dancers in the background, and one guy gets fucking launched up in the air, and he doesn't like really show him come down at all. But it looked like he like went up like 4 stories. It was nuts.
That one girl fell off on her rollerblades. She came out on TikTok saying had a big black eye and said that she's
That was
okay.
fake. That's fake.
Was
That's not
it?
actually her. Yeah.
Oh. And then
Yeah.
that girl that fell down the stripper pole was real though. I seen it
Yes.
happen live. That was hilarious. Like we're like, that looked like that girl fell down that pole. And she did. But no, the game
Okay,
was
we got stuff
entertaining.
to talk about here, boys. Sorry. We got the golf. Drummy, what do you got for around the greens other than Big Dick Nick?
Yeah, I guess really off Big Dick Nick, I guess the talk of the weekend was how much of a absolute shit show this tournament has turned into. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Can they actually rein it back in, or are we too far gone here? Like they just started letting people in without tickets. The cops were just like, "Fuck it." There was
It was a shit show.
250,000 people that were there.
Yeah, it was a shit show. Reggie, do you want to spawn to Cuz in the chat? Or are you gonna have a Cuz match this summer with him?
Yeah, we could have a Cuz match this summer.
All right, there we go. Heard it here first, folks. Yeah, Drummy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like I remember being there the last time, and it was like too much for me. And like, I don't know. That was probably about 50,000 less people, I think, on the golf course at that time. If there was 250, I think they set a record the year that we were there, and it was like 180,000 maybe that weekend. And now it's at 250. I just feel like it's too much. I think. Like, I don't know. What do you like? Am I alone here to think that what was happening there is like insane?
It's way too
My
much.
opinion on it is, and I might be completely off with this, but just from experiencing a couple country fests and that are in the pouring rain and everything's muddy and soggy and it's pouring rain the whole time and everybody's still trying to have a good time. I honestly think that rain like that exaggerates things like 10% or 10 times. I don't know if that's just in my head, but like I've been to Country Fest and for 20 years now or whatever it is, and I've seen a lot of years there where it's sunny and you don't really notice people being that big of a shit show. And then when the rain comes out and it gets sloppy and it gets mucky and it gets like that, shit happens, man. I don't know if that's real or and that
That's fair.
seems like that's what was happening at the Waste Management is people were kind of pissed off that it wasn't this sunny 3 days that they were expecting there, and they still got pissed, but they probably got even more pissed because they were trying to drink away. I don't know. Is there a merit to that? Or like, I think that every time there's rain at a big event, it creates chaos.
Fair.
Yeah, but I mean, like Sunday, they didn't get rained on. They were still out of control. Like they didn't serve booze.
Was that Sunday or Saturday?
I think both days they stopped serving booze.
I thought they
Saturday
served
for
on
sure.
Sunday.
But yeah, like
But I don't know that for sure.
I mean, I'm all for like the fun watching that the Netflix show and the beers raining on the boys as they're putting. Harry Higgs ripping off his tarp and going around the green. Like, yeah, that's the part that we want, and for that to be the fun. But like people pissing themselves in the sidelines, just passed out, puking everywhere, scraps, getting arrested. Like that part's a little bit too much. So it's got to rein back in about, I don't know, 5% maybe. Just keep it right at that teetering line of absolute chaos and pure fun.
It's a fine
How do you
line, though.
manage that, though? How do you manage
I don't
that?
know. It's got to be like a crowd control thing. Like you got to rein it back. Like you said,
They have
50,
to cut down the numbers
50,000.
here, I think.
Yeah.
The old Thunderbirds
nuts.
aren't handling themselves. They tried to kick us out once upon a time. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The
I do
old
remember
Thundies
that.
were pissed. We just all of a sudden we're circled by a flock of Thunderbirds and we were in trouble.
We also weren't yelling when guys were hitting, though. Like that's the part that pissed me off. Even though like it was ZJ and I had a good laugh about it, and like Billy Ho.
That
But,
shit's
like,
offside.
yeah, you can't be
Well,
yelling
that'll-
when guys are hitting.
And that'll be as a result of how big it is of an event. Like those will be people that have no clue what golf is. I'm just there's a party
Drums.
going on and it's on Instagram now, so I'm going.
When we were there like 5 years ago, that's how it was. Like it was
Yeah.
all just college kids there. It wasn't there people to watch golf. It was people there to party.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like it's intensified by significant amount. And I think that all they have to do is just dial her back a bit. It does seem like they were almost trying to get it to be that way. It seems like that. If they're actually giving away this amount of tickets and just letting people in there, it's like who's in charge here?
Right.
And is that if that's what you want to do, then do it, but don't start arresting people because they're partying. And don't stop serving booze because people are too drunk. Like, I don't know.
Did you guys see that? It's actually probably one of the best videos ever. It's like behind the green of the winning putt going in.
Yeah.
But there's a guy trying to hold his buddy up, and the entire time, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna miss it because he's trying to hold this motherfucker up, and then it keeps coming to it, and you're like, oh, you just about got it. It's an amazing video. Yeah, one of the best golf videos ever. And then everybody trips over him. It's so good.
There's also that one that I retweeted on Twitter, or maybe I just responded to it. It was that guy falling backwards, like the full version of it. Like the guy, like the whole crowd's walking one way and he's like falling backwards, but he's like hardly standing up. Like he's like bent backwards, walking backwards, and then he keeps going up on the curb. No, this is a new one, and he keeps going up on the curb and then back down. Oh my god! And in his head, he's walking like a straight line, or he's just standing there. But he's just absolutely hanging on for his
act
dear
normal,
life.
act normal, act normal, act normal. That's all he's saying in his head.
He went up and down the curb 3 times. Amazing.
So then the next big thing that came out this week is Sunday Red.
Yes.
Let's hear it. What are the thoughts on everything? What do you think of the name, first of all?
I love it. I love everything about it, honestly. The only thing I would change about it is that, and I'm sure this will come, but like I love his tiger logo like that. It looks so good on a shirt. But from being in the golf apparel industry, you have to have different logos. Like you can't wear the king crown and a king crown sweater. It just doesn't go well together. You have to have like two different logos that you can see, like the tiger and then maybe the SDN or something along there. Or what is it? SDR. That's the only thing I would change, but I'm sure that's coming. And I love the look of the logo. I think the way that it was all designed is very clean, very simple. And the story behind his logo too is pretty cool, I thought. So that's my thoughts on it. Although we have a golf brand ourselves, I'll probably be buying some Sunday Red stuff just to support T-Dub. Although I don't know what the price range is on it. I'm sure it's maybe out of my range.
It's probably not cheap.
See you, Reggie. But other than that, like, what do you think, Drummy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm about an 8.5.
That's pretty high.
I like it, but there's a lot that I don't like. I'm not completely sold on the logo every time I look at it, but about 80% of the time I like it.
How does it compare to his TW logo?
It might just be the history with the TW logo that's just what Tiger Woods' logo is to me.
I honestly never loved that logo. I like his older one better.
The little circle thing. It's almost like a
Yin Yang thing.
yin yang thing. Yeah. But no, I think the logo is going to grow on me. I'm not sure I like sun, day, red, like the split up between sun and day.
No,
Don't get it.
I do. Did you read his thing there?
Well, he said because you don't have to wear it anymore just on Sundays or something.
No,
He likes the sun. And he likes golfing during the day, and he likes how good things come in threes.
Yes, that was the thing. The 15 stripes on the tiger represents his 15 major wins, and the 3-word name, special power in threes. So Tiger Woods is a subscriber to Nikolai Tesla's theory of 369 is the key to the secret to the universe. So Tiger's tuned into that. That's my thoughts on it.
I don't like it.
I saw another thing that when you turn the logo sideways, it like represents vertebrae fused together.
Being fused.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that one's actually true or not. I didn't see that one backed up, but yeah. Most of the apparel was really sharp. I didn't like there was like a camo-y shirt. I thought that was not good. But I think everything else looked really good. The hoodies, the golf actual polos were kind of just okay, but fine. Yeah. But the kind of everyday stuff looked really good actually.
I like the logo of it. Like I like that the logo, but like the SDR looks like somebody made it on fucking Microsoft Word or Paint in grade 2. Like why do you have SDR on there? It's terrible. When the letters are in there, it's a terrible logo. There's no need for them to put SDR in there. I like the Tiger logo, like the whatever it is, but like the letters in the logo looks horrid.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know why. Why would they do that? I just don't get it. Why that's in there?
I think that they're just trying to push the fact that it's Sunday red. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, well, I don't know. It looks like somebody didn't know how to use Microsoft Paint, and they just like they wanted to put S, D, and R all in there, so they just put it there, and then put the logo in behind, and then that's how it is.
I don't know.
But the logo looks really good. Like on that hoodie looks really nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys think that I've seen a lot of things too that said they missed a big opportunity not using his fist pump as a logo? And I agree. I really do agree with that.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think that's very overdone.
overdone for people who aren't anything, but for Tiger, that's like him. That's actually him.
Well, I'm sure he'll work it into a few of his clothing things, or maybe he might mix it into like a new special edition logo. But I don't know. I think the Tiger is more timeless. I think it'll last longer. It'll hold up more. I think so.
I think that when he retires, the PGA Tour will take that silhouette and make it the logo
Of the tour?
No, yeah, like of like the fist pump. Because they have like a golfer in there now. I think they'll change it and update it with him in it.
Yeah.
Like the NBA is talking about like putting Kobe as the silhouette of the NBA guy symbol. I kind of think like the same type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like everybody does that. Like that's Phil's logo. That's there's a couple like that. I just feel like it's kind of overdone. Personally, I like that they went a different direction with it. But what do I know?
They use the same logo as Slazenger.
Slosh. Okay, so the last thing from me was Cristobal del Solar. If I'm pronouncing that right or not.
Oh, yeah.
Fires
57.
dash under 13.
Oh my God.
The lowest recorded score for a PGA sanctioned event ever. 57. Absolutely nuts. So I guess that should be another cheers. So cheers to Cristobal.
Yeah, how did we miss
And
that?
people online are actually chirping him that it's an easy course. All right, like I'll give you a fucking pitch and putt and go try to shoot 13 under.
Yeah, no doubt.
You aren't doing it.
Like, what are we doing here? Guys are chirping the guy?
Wait
Not
till you hear
chirping,
the
but
best record at Rossman Lake.
I don't even want. I never thought about that.
You might have it.
Do I own it?
You didn't read your spot tonight that you're saying you're talking about it or you're supposed to be.
Do I own it? Is this my acceptance speech?
Is this the end of the Around the Greens drummy tonight?
That's all I got for tonight, you bet.
Beauty. Okay, we're going to do Fix Your Divots. We're going to announce the King Cup date, and then we're going to get to local knowledge here. I think. Yes. Okay, so tonight's Fix Your Divots is brought to you by the Prairie Scratch Tour. Here in Manitoba, it is the premier place to be golfing. If you're a stick or if you're not. There's going to be a couple non-sticks in action this year, and you're looking at a few of them. What's happening here? There we go. Someone's moving around big time.
I think it might be Drummy's mic on the couch. There's no stand, so it's probably tough. But
so it's just sitting on my chest.
Where was I here? Prairie Scratch Tour. They are the Premier League in Manitoba. Big shout out to Jordy and the crew there for turning it into what it has become. And I think that it's going to only grow from here. We're looking forward to following along this summer. We're going to be paying a little closer attention to the events this year. We're going to be spending some time on episodes following the golf and checking in with the golfers and see who is cleaning up the golf in Manitoba this year. So good to see Prairie Scratch Tour. Big shout out to them. And tonight's Fix Your Divots is from our good pal Clayton Carefoot. And his Fix Your Divots tonight is when someone says great putt before the putt lips out. So when someone calls it early, Clayton doesn't like it. What do you guys feel about that?
It's a little added kick in the nuts.
I think it's a person. I honestly, I don't know how much of a problem I have with it. I think that it's a person who genuinely thinks the putts. I mean, I've said it a few times, and I say, I don't know if I say it quite often, but I definitely do. If you think the putt's going in, you say good putt, like, and it still is, in my opinion. If it burns a big part of the lip and spits it out, it still is a good putt. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I say it, then I feel like a dick after, but then I'm like, I said good putt because I generally meant that you hit a good putt, and I thought it was going to go in.
I feel like this was a a pretty common thing before this year, and all of a sudden there was like a video online where it went viral, and everybody all of a sudden thinks that it's like the end of the world to do that. I'm kind of with Reggie here, honestly. Not to go against our fix or divot segment here, but I also say this quite a bit, and it's never in like a rude
Spiteful
way
way.
or anything. It's like I
Yeah.
actually think that the putt's going to go in, and I'm like celebrating a little bit early. I love seeing putts go in the hole, whether they're mine or somebody I'm playing with. So I don't know. Maybe it just depends on the guy that's saying it.
Yeah, like how
I
cheeky
think.
was he while he was saying it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I also get like some guys do say it like good putt, and they say it to like some people would say it to jinx it, but I don't know how many people there are like that out there that would actually do that.
Yeah.
Other
There
than
are
the
though.
line and pace, that was a great putt.
So I don't know.
Clayton's brother Ty would do that, so I could see where Clayton's coming from.
Maybe that's why Clayton
That's
doesn't
probably
like
where
it.
Clayton gets it from. His brother would say that, so I could see why he gets drowned by that.
I don't know. I mean, if you're playing with Clayton, I think that there is quite a few people out there who feel the same way as Clayton. I don't know. I'm going to keep saying it probably if I think it's going to go in, but who
then
knows?
there's like if I hit a, I don't know, like sometimes somebody hits a putt and it looks like it's gonna go in, and then I say good putt, and then it misses, and they make it seem like it's your fault that the ball didn't go in because you said good putt, and
Yeah.
it's like
I always say
that has
got it.
nothing to do with it.
That's what I
I've
always
never
say.
seen that reaction, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've never seen anybody like get pissed because you said good putt and it didn't go in.
I've seen it. I have seen it lots because I say it though, and people are like, "Oh, it was gonna go in until you said good putt." No, it wasn't. I didn't determine that it wasn't gonna go in because I said good putt.
Yeah, the added breath I did
But I can't see
spitting the
why
words out
Clayton.
fucking
Yeah,
pushed
I
it
can see
away.
it. How if there's people that are spiteful about it, it would be annoying.
All right. Well, thanks, Clayton, for that. We had a little bit of a debate, but that's okay. Brings it to the attention of the people. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm trying to bring up the spreadsheet here for the Rossman Lake Golf Course.
Me too, and I don't know where it is.
Oh, that's what you guys have been doing. It's on the drive.
I've
breather
opened
here.
every document that we have on the drive in the last 5 minutes.
It's in local knowledge, and then there's a little tab there in the spreadsheet called Rossman Lake, the most beautiful course on the planet. I'm on the wrong one. Okay, well, we should announce, I guess, while we're waiting here, while we're searching for things, we should announce the date of the King Cup. This is breaking news straight out of Rossman Lake and Brandon and Dauphin tonight. And the dates for the King Cup this year is going to be different. Reggie and I are heading overseas for a little holiday this summer. Different times, nonetheless, but we're still going. And so, unfortunately, our normal date, the first weekend of July or second, I guess, isn't going to work. And so this year, the date of the King Cup is going to be July the 19th. So third week into July, the Friday once again. We're going to have some information on the Instagram probably next week, I would say, but we wanted to give it to the Kngdom listeners first, as always. And so if you're interested in playing, I think that because we're on a different weekend this year, there's going to be more demand, I think, but we'll see. So if you're interested, we're going to have a early bird running for the next 2 weeks, which is going to be our legacy price, the same price we've had every year so far. That's what the early birds pay. And then after that, if you wait a little bit, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Keep an eye out for the King account. And that's it, July 19th. Ches is in the house. He said he had a guy in Medicine Hat that would lose his fucking mind if you talked to his ball while it was rolling. I did not know that this was a thing.
Me either. Psycho shit.
I do know that a lot of people are like that, and I do know that a lot of people get pissed off if you say good putt and it doesn't go in. They genuinely think it's your fault that it didn't go in.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that my whole life, and nobody's ever made a comment to me. So I don't know. Maybe some people are a little bit more, as Reggie said, a little bit more sarcastic with it, which could be the case. Because if somebody was, intentionally, not that it actually does anything, but if somebody's trying to
Yeah.
screw with you, then that would piss me off too. So probably depends case by case. Okay, Rossman Lake Golf Course. This is the first segment for local knowledge. We got 19 courses that we're going to be doing this year. The 19th is still to be determined. We're going to be doing that as well. It's hard to do all these different things at the same time. So we're trying our best to kind of balance it all out without overwhelming people. And so we're going to have the 19th hole. It's going to be a vote between 4 courses. And that's coming this week as well, I think. But anyways, this is the first one tonight. So this is a special one for Reggie and I. This is the course that we grew up in here at Rossman Lake. So it is a 9-hole course, Rossman Lake Golf and Country Club, 9 holes. Pretty low yardage, 2,625 yards.
I didn't think it was that low.
I mean, they have a 65-yard hole, so that definitely plays into it a little bit. And it's a par 34.
And three
par
par
threes.
threes and 1 par 5.
Yeah.
Plays a major role in it.
So it is a little bit shorter than most, but don't let the distance or lack thereof fool you, because this is not a picnic. That's for sure. It's very tight. You got to be playing well. You have to keep your ball in play. Okay, so I'm going to read here a little bit of the course. Ross, at the time of printing this, it was called the Rossburn Golf Club. I don't know if you can see that or not. So, established in the 1960s, Rossburn Golf Club was created as part of Rossman Lake Resort. The land at Rossman Lake was bought by a group of game and fish sportsmen and made into a 9-hole course of sand greens. The course was then turned over to the municipality, who are now the owners of the golf club, still to this day. This was in 1991, this was written. In 1985, it was decided to put grass greens, which were completed by the following year through the work of volunteers. Love that. Since then, both the greens and the tee-offs have been enlarged somewhat, and an underground irrigation has been added. Rossburn Golf Club is not a long course, but the golfer will find it a challenge due to the hills and heavy brush coming into play. A creek also affects the plays on holes 3 and 7. In addition to golf, I would argue that 5 as well, on the left side a little bit, if getting your drive a little squirrely. In addition to the golf, there are facilities for camping, swimming, fishing, and boating. A playground is also located nearby.
Shout out the playground.
So a couple more things to note here. Shout out to the playground. A couple things to note here. The most challenging hole, according to this golf guide, is hole number 1, 420 yards. It is a very tough hole to start. The least challenging hole here is hole number 7, which was 270-yard par 4, which they've changed that since. So they added a short par 3. They combined 7 and 8 into hole 8 and took away hole 7. So the least challenging hole is no longer number 7 because it does not exist. And the last fact here about Rossman Lake. In 1991, if you wanted to get onto the course as an adult, your green fees, $6. If you're a junior and you wanted to get onto the golf course, $3.
Jesus.
So sorry to
back.
depress everybody with our current prices in golf, but you could have played a nice 9, leisurely 9, Rossman Lake Golf Club back in 1991 for $6.
Do you know what it is now?
It's probably 20, Reggie? $20.
20 per 9.
So
Have to pay it a
3x
lot in the summer.
Little inflation.
I don't know what happened there. Is this not allowed on? Am I even here? Oh yeah, we're back.
Jesus.
All three of us disappeared.
Man, there's just spinning circles everywhere.
That's a first for the Kingdom. I don't think that's ever happened before where we all disappeared.
Yikes.
It was just 3 spinning circles on my screen. And then all of a sudden I was just by myself.
Were we talking about the inflation too much?
Trump said that's quite the inflation.
Whoops.
That is nuts, actually. $3 though for anything, really. I'm pretty sure Joe's mini golf would have been about the same price as that day. No,
yeah, for real. Well, no, it's probably like $1 to play, honestly.
I know, but still, like,
I don't remember hole 7.
yeah, you probably were never out there before then.
Basically,
Yeah,
drums. Think of hole 8, except where your drive lands. Usually, there's a green right there.
And then you go up to the elevated tee box on 8, and you'd have to hit over the trees to get to 8.
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually. Those are some fun holes, tough holes, but
Yeah.
I mean,
So
also
where was the tee
drivable
box
for
for
both.
8?
Up on the left hill.
Like, okay.
Like, yeah. It was sick. It was actually
Like
better
where the
than it is now.
Or kind of where the corner is on 9.
It was the same cart path. It was
Gotcha.
right at the top of that hill, and you'd hit over those trees to get to the fairway.
Yeah,
Like the trees that are on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
you'd hit over
Yeah,
them.
I can kind of picture that now, yeah.
It was sick. Sick course at that time. Like, I love that. I like that design rather than a par 5.
It was pretty good. But anyways, we got a 65-yard par 3 now, so that's fun. Reggie, what's the course record at Rossman Lake?
Well, from Harley the Prez, I honestly wouldn't know the course record. He said he shot a 32, and that's one of the lowest for that, but not sure if that's the lowest, though. And I can confirm that I shot 28 or 29 one day. So that would probably be the course record.
Except course records don't count for 9 holes, though.
Right. So that's my lowest on the. I think it was 20. I don't know if it was 28 or 29. If Dad was in the chat, he would know, but I don't know for sure what it was. It was definitely one of the two, though.
Pretty impressive either way.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I thought of when I was thinking of the course record, I feel like every course, and maybe this will become like a King Golf thing. Probably not, but maybe. But it's an idea for courses out there. I think that in the parking lot or somewhere around the clubhouse, between the clubhouse and the first tee, I think there should be a big sign that says first tee that way, and then the course record. So, you know the question, like where's the first hole or where's the first tee and what's the course record? Like you'd have a sign there that says there's the first tee and here's the course record. I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
I think that would. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
You never said anything.
No, I just think that.
Did you just malfunction? What happened?
I don't want to be ignorant, but I feel like that almost gives people like
incentive to cheat.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I really do. I really do think that, because then they would get their name on the sign and they would have the course record. Maybe you don't put the name on the sign, though. Maybe you just put the score.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Anytime someone gets like the chance to have like their name blown up somewhere with like a score there, like they want that bad. And I feel like people just say that they shot that, and then their buddies be like, yeah, he shot it for sure.
Drummy.
So
we don't know the course record. We should probably
29.
We're going with 29. Reggie's claiming the course record at Rossman Lake live on air.
Oh, I didn't know
That's crazy.
I held the course record. It's kind of sweet.
Drummy, what's the feature hole at Rossman?
I went off with what you had in there, which is number 4 at Rossman. It's either that or 8. I think 8's way too hard to be like the feature hole.
I agree.
So that's why I kind of went with 4. 5's up there too. But 4, with the addition of the water crossing in front of the green, help me out with distances. What do you 20 yards in front of the green. The water runs across.
The water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or less.
15,
15, 10 yards, I'd say.
Okay. So yeah, you hit a elevated tee shot. It's a actually I just kind of realizing how slopey and hilly that course is for kind of how compact it is. So you hit kind of to the top of the hill is kind of where you want to be, which is 90 yards to 100 yards out at
Yeah.
the top of the hill.
Yep.
That's where you want to hit your approach shot into. Again, like you said, the water runs across about 15 in front, so there is some room a bit long, but your bush is right behind there too. You've got, as you come down, or actually as you're at the top, hitting your approach shot into the green, you get a pretty good view of majority of the course. Really, you get hole
1
2,
and 2
hole
for
1.
sure. Yeah.
6 a bit in the back there as well, and then it's the first of the road holes, so you got to make sure you're not dinging any drivers as they go by. So yeah, it's not an overly challenging hole, but it's probably up there with scenery as the best, combined with how tough of a hole it is too. I think it's kind of the green that ends up being the toughest part of that hole.
There's lots of tough spots in that course,
Yeah.
in that hole.
I would say tee shot's probably the toughest. If there's
Tee shot is hard. And the thing is like if you sneak out a par on hole 1 and 2, and then you're probably going to have a good score on 3. So you're feeling pretty good about yourself at that point. And then you step up on the 4th tee box there, and it just looks like you have no place to land there. It opens up past the trees there, but the first little chute there is pretty narrow. And
it's
then
the
you
toughest
have
tee shot on the course for sure.
It's what?
Toughest tee shot on the course.
I think so too. Even tougher than 8, I think.
Because the driver's too much too, so you have to hit like
you can't hit your
shot,
driver.
Yeah, so ideally you want to hit something 200, 220 out. Yeah. Off the tee. 355 yards, par 4. But yeah, like I said, driver's probably not the play for most people. You'll catch the downslope of the hill as it runs into the water, and then you're hooped.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how far you hit your driver, I guess. If you hit your driver 250 on the nose, it's perfect there.
True. You're at the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to get into hole by hole, right, for tips?
Yeah.
Are we going hole by hole? Yeah.
Yeah. Probably won't do all of them. I don't think there's some where you just have to hit it and hope for the best. But I think we'll start with hole 1. Obviously, it's the feature hole according to the tee off guide here. I think it is a beautiful hole. It's a great tee shot to start. I mean, the campers on the right side is a whole element that's not at other courses that I've played anyways. Sometimes it's houses, but if you got all those campers along the whole right side, and so you're wanting to stay away from there. But if you can cut that corner on the drive, you're going to end up in a much better position. So it's a very fine line to flirt with there in terms of the campers and putting one in play. But there is more room there on the right side than it looks like from the tee.
Yeah, and I guess it's funny. You kind of you play a course over the years, and you hit the tee shot, and you've had probably 7 tee shots in 30 years that have been at the 100-yard marker in perfect position, but you still tell yourself every single time you step up on that tee to hit driver for some unknown reason. If you hit a 4-iron, it's going to land on the downslope and end up 150 yards in the perfect spot where you actually want to be on that court or on that tee shot. A driver 1 out of 25 might put you in a good spot, but you and I have hit driver on that hole for probably the last 150 rounds we played there. But when you start actually looking at the course and analyzing it, driver's probably not the play for a conservative golfer off that first tee.
True.
If you hit a 4-iron and aim at that spruce tree up on the hill, I mean, everything's gonna filter down into that little flat spot where you're 150 yards, 160 yards from the green. And it's crazy. You don't realize it, like I said, till you sit back and actually analyze it here. and a driver can get so loose left or so loose right, where with an iron, you're probably not going to do that. And if you can make a 4 for the most part of that hole, you're going to take it and run anyways. And I don't know how many drivers will be hitting off number 1 next year now that we sit back and review it here.
Yeah, right.
Well, what do you think about that, though?
Well, I've hit more drives on the left side there because if you're a yard too far left, you're never seeing that ball again. I've lost more balls on that left side of hole 1 than anywhere else on earth. And it's not like they're even that bad of a drive. It's just it catches the top there, and it's usually very dry up there, and it bounces once, and then it rolls all the way down the other side of that hill, and you're never seeing that ball again. I don't think I've ever found a ball in that left side of the fairway there over.
And that's never happening with the 4-iron.
I know, but I just feel like you kind of want to get down there a little further than a 4-iron, I think.
I don't know if I'll hit a driver there this year now that we did this local knowledge.
We'll see.
No, we will. Second shot, though, important to stay short rather than long.
Tiny ass green.
Dead, yeah. Upside down bowl for a green. Very tough green to hit, even if you're 100 yards. So that's what I'm saying. It's okay to lay back a little bit because it's really hard to hit the green as is from even with a perfect drive from 110 yards.
Yeah.
You're
honestly,
probably not making birdie there anyways.
All things considered here, I would say just based on these comments, if you want to play smart, if you want to make a par on the first hole, your best bet is probably going to hit a 4-iron, something that you hit 200 or 220 yards, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it straight.
It'll land on the slope and
bottom there. You won't be on a slope.
Mm-hmm.
And then just hit like you're going to be about 160 out. Hit like a whatever to stay a little bit short. 1 chip onto the green, and worst case bogey.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, like, how many birdies would you say out of 10 holes or 100 holes there? How many birdies would you say happen at hole 1?
Like 5, maybe 5.
The hole's 420 yards. It's no joke.
The green's the toughest part of the hole for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible to get it close unless you launch one way up in the air.
Yeah.
Or chase one up, get lucky and chase one up. But yeah, it's a tough one to get close on.
And anytime you can start Rossman Lake hole number 1 with a par, it's a good day. Mm-hmm. So take that into consideration. Number 2, this was a tip that was sent in, and from a woman, from a female, who's hit a couple balls into the water in her day. And she said that when you're teeing off, pick a spot, pick a target over the water. And I think that this is very applicable to any hole with water, but especially number 2 at Rossman, because it is very intimidating. You can almost touch the reeds with your club from the red tees when you're hitting. It's so in your face there. So just pick a spot over the water, only focus on that, and just hit a good shot. Don't even think about the water there.
Yeah. I would say one tip that I would have on that hole is it says 162 on the yardage. For whatever reason, I don't know. I really don't know what the reasoning is. It seems to always play further than 162.
It is a bit uphill.
I don't know if I've ever.
Like it doesn't.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Like I hit my 7-iron like 175. And most days I can comfortably hit it there.
You're saying it's longer than it shows on the scorecard?
It plays longer than it shows on the scorecard.
Yeah, I think so too. And you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room on the right side. Everything funnels down to the left. And if you aim right at the pin and it goes a little bit to the left, you're going to be chipping uphill, which is a much easier chip.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number 2. Par is good there too, I believe. And as they say, Reggie, it can be done in 1.
Clem Jean said that. Got himself on a sign.
With a hole in 1. Drummy, what do you know about number 3?
She's short. What are they actually listed at? 65?
I think it's 65.
Yeah.
65. You can you can literally putt this ball to the green if you like. It might actually probably be the safest, smartest play. Bunker in front. So you're hitting an elevated tee shot that you can't see the green at all, right?
You can see the
You're
flag.
just gonna. You can see. Can you see the whole flag though?
No.
Sometimes you can see the flag. Sometimes you can't. Depends where it is, right?
So yeah, tip wise, I don't really have anything good. I could maybe tell you I've hit the green twice in my existence playing at that course. I won Ripstick, the one
Oh
shit
yeah.
show we had out there. Yeah, but other than that, I think I'm gassing them over every time. So I don't know. I have a 65-yard tee shot in my bag.
Same amount of GIRs as Mom has hole-in-ones, or that's an important fact of hole number 3. Mom has 2 hole-in-ones there, which is very impressive.
It's crazy.
No matter how you draw it up, it's very impressive.
Yeah. The only thing I would say on hole 3 is just focus on hitting it straight and don't be long. Because if you're long in the bush, and I've been there plenty of times, it's dead. It's probably, if you're short or if you're straight, you're going to be okay. Because there's just a bunker there in front. You can, honestly, the way the bunker is, you can putt out of that thing and get it onto the green and salvage a par or bogey max. But nothing crazy here. It's kind of like Clear Lake hole 17. You never really know. I played that course 1,000 times probably, and I get worried every time I go up on that tee. I never know what's going to happen. I don't know why.
The thing about it too is like so many people get to number 3 and they think like, oh, it's 65 yards. Like I want to make a birdie here. Okay, but how many other 65-yard shots do you have on any golf course ever that you can hardly see the top of the flag and there's a bunker right in front and it's surrounded by a hill? And you think you're going to make a birdie from that spot every time? Good luck. But then you get there, you're like, oh, it's a par 3 and it's only 65 yards. Of course I'm going to get a birdie here. No, it's not that easy of a shot. Like it takes a good shot to get it close there every time. And yeah, just have the mentality that a par is good on that hole, because it is. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that can go wrong there. I've seen a lot go wrong there for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Take your 3 and get the hell out of there.
Hole 4 we've kind of touched on already. I don't think there's anything else to really say there. I don't.
The second shot, if you are up on the hill and it's 100 yards on your rangefinder, if you have a rangefinder, it probably plays about 85.
Yeah,
it's probably about 85 to 90. It's about a 10 to 15 yard slope down there. I would say is kind of the one tip I would give on that. That's what, wouldn't you say you usually play it like 90 yards?
Yep.
Long is dead.
Long is dead.
Okay.
That's kind of the theme of Rossman Lake, honestly. And if you only get one thing probably from this whole episode, is that on almost every hole, short is better. Mm-hmm. I mean, 4 is a little different because you got the river in front, bush at the back. But for the most part, you always want to be short here. And there's a couple holes we'll talk about where that's definitely the case. So number 5, on the second highway hole, pretty much the same length, a little bit shorter. It's 300 yards. I think it's 298. Driver is not the play here under any circumstances, I don't think, unless you're in a scramble. But honestly, what I've kind of switched my strategy to here is because it is such it's a very intimidating tee shot. You got the highway on one side and you got straight bush on the other side. You have to put the ball in play. That's it. If you can put the ball in play off the tee shot, you're probably going to make a par at worst.
Can I rewind for 1 sec back to hole 4?
Sure.
I feel like we always talk about like what we're doing, and we gave a tip from if you're hitting from 100 yards that it would play as 90 yards. I think an important tip there that I've learned from Mom and Dad over the years, if you're not, and we should probably talk about it for the guys that don't hit it to the 100-yard marker, and that if you're back to 170 and you have a ball flight of like a line drive, sometimes it isn't worth it to go for that green in 2, and there's if you play it to the top of the hill and it rolls down to that flat spot, it's a good spot to hit to the green from. True. And you don't benefit anything from going for the creek in too, because you're going to end up just on the other side of the creek, which is 10 yards further ahead than you were if you just laid to it's still only a 25-yard pitch to the green, right?
Yep, that's very true. Good point.
And so many people go into that creek, or they hit a line drive to get it over, and then it skips across and then goes into the back creek. Because I didn't realize that till you said how tight it is with the back creek and the front creek. Like, it's a very tough shot unless you can elevate the golf ball. You're almost better off just laying up short of the creek.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you're not going to make a double that way, probably. Just for the guys that aren't hitting it to the top of or the women who are listening to the podcast for tips.
True. Hole 5. Anything else to add there other than don't hit, put it in play? Don't hit driver, put it in play?
A 200-yard shot goes the same distance as a 240-yard shot.
Yep.
Exact same distance. I've tested it many times. If you can land it over that second hill, it's going to end up in the exact same spot as if you fly one to the bottom of the hill.
Yep. Other than that, pretty straightforward hole. The green there is what makes it challenging. It's the only thing that keeps it from being the easiest hole in the course, because that is not an easy green to hit onto. So just hit what I would say if you're hitting to that green, and I could probably take my own advice here, but just aim for the middle of that green. If you're in the middle of that green, you're going to have an easier putt instead of going at the flag and you're going to roll off the back, or you fly it and you go into the water. Just aim for the middle of the green there.
Just how many rounds you think in your last?
It's such a sucker pin up there.
No, but how many rounds in the last 200 has there been a pin at the front of that green?
One.
Yeah, honestly, one time in
two.
One time in the Cody McLeod tournament, and then just one random week it was there.
Yeah.
Crazy. They never have the pin at the front, but I wish they did more often.
Hole 6. This is another. So you kind of got 3 shorter par 4s here in a row. 4, 5, and 6. It's quite the stretch of golf. And number 6 is no picnic itself. It's a dog leg to the left. It's about 260 yards, I'd say, maybe 270. Slightly uphill, dog leg to the left. Sets up perfectly for Drummy's draw and my fade. But we do have a tip from Instagram. This is from TJ. And he says, trying to clear the trees to hit the green is deceiving, which is very true. Avoid the top of the green at all costs. Start low and work yourself up. Great advice.
Yeah. Your tee shot can be, like he said, super deceiving. You can think that you can I can even baby a driver over here and just get it over there.
Because of the yardage.
Yes, just with the yardage. But the height of the trees and the distance it is past the trees to the actual green past the bush, the only way that you're driving it is if you snap hook one in there, but which is doable. I think you hit it quite often. What do you hit, 5-wood, Reg?
Yeah, 3-wood usually.
3. So definitely doable, but that tee shot is definitely deceiving if you're trying to go over. Tried it a time or two. So no, it like you said, that's the knot. Don't do that.
I think that, and like I said on hole 1, I was thinking about local knowledge and tips for the course, and a lot of the tips that I have for the course are things that I don't do enough. But like this hole, like there's like 100 or like a 70-yard landing area if you just hit it 230 yards, and then you have a relatively straightforward pitch with a very slow green, but
uphill.
You're still, if you're below the hole, you're probably not making worse than a par. But me and George step up there every time. We're like, oh, we're going to drive the green. So it happens every single round we play. And 9.5 times out of 10, you think you hit a good one and you hit the top of the trees and you never see the ball again. Or you think you have to cut it around the trees and you overcut it and the ball's 40 yards left of target and it's gone. And I think the only way that you can really get to that green is if you really fade one around there. Not the only way, but you have to hit a pretty high ball with a long carry to get it over the trees, unless you carve one around. And I honestly think that it's kind of good to review stuff like this, because I'll probably change my strategy on a few of the holes next year at Rossman, because it just doesn't, the risk reward really isn't there, because the chances that you actually land on the low side of the green on that hole for an uphill, straightforward pitch or hit the green are so slim from 260 yards that it's not even worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it every single time, like a broken record, and we just lose a ball there and just take an auto double on a hole that should never be a double bogey.
I think the problem there, though, is, and the reason why we do that is two reasons. You see 260 yards on the scorecard and at the tee marker, and you're like, oh, I can hit that, no problem. But you don't factor in how high those trees are right in front of the green. Like from those trees to the green is probably 20 yards. So you have to hit a 20 or a 260 yard shot, carry those massive trees, get lucky, land on the green. But the other part of it is that because it is hole number 6, if you had a slow start and you want number 6 to be like your turbocharge into finishing around, you're trying to save your round there. So you try to make an eagle, or you try to make a birdie or something stupid. And then you put one in the bush, you take a double, and then 7, 8, and 9 are just nightmares because you're already done with the day. And so I think that's the reason for it. If you're playing
it is unbelievable.
What's that?
It's unbelievable how many balls I've lost on that hole over the years. Like, it doesn't even make sense. I probably finished that hole with my first ball legitimately, like, I'm running like I'm clipping it right at probably like less than 20% over the last 5 years. No joke. Like rate. That's not. There's no bullshit. No, finished with my first ball probably less than 20%. For no reason. It's a 260-yard par 4 that you could hit one anywhere on and hit the green in 2 and take your par. But your ego gets in the way and you want to try to hit the green.
Yeah.
So what are we telling people?
Well, I'm saying stay right, because you could hit it pretty much. You could hit the worst shot of your life right as far as you want, and you're still going to find it probably. You might be under a tree, but I mean, realistically, you're probably 60, 70 yards up there. You could just hit a pitch shot underneath the branches, get it somewhere up short of the green, and chip and putt for a par. That's the worst case. Best case, you're going to be in the middle of the fairway. You put one on the green, and don't get above the hole there. Ever. That's the most sloped green I think that I played on.
Yeah.
Yeah, from top to bottom, the change. Yeah.
I once made a 35-foot slider there for a Cocker Spaniel. I never got it. Yeah, Tron said if you make this putt, we'll get the Cocker Spaniel for you. And I made like a 35-foot slider. We never got through it somehow. Dog? No.
That's a true story.
Me and George were just running around like crazy, thought we got a dog, and then they still didn't get it for us.
Still waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, hole 7, I think we could probably bypass this. I think this is a very, very difficult hole for a lot of people. And
very hard.
It's 200-yard par 3. You have to go over the trees. I think that hopefully if somebody from Rossman Lake is listening to this, and I probably isn't the place to do it, but maybe. But I think that there should be a women's tee box in front of those trees there, because it's a 200-yard hole. You have to clear those trees. It's a very difficult shot for most golfers, especially women. So I think that if you put a tee box right in front of those trees, you're still got a 100-yard hole or 110-yard hole straight uphill. That's a hard enough hole for women as it is. But if you're navigating the course, if you're trying to play it, I would say just hit something that's going to get over the trees. Even if you're short, you're okay. If you're long, you're going to hit the fence. Hit it straight and get it over the trees. That's kind of my advice for that hole.
Knock it up by the green. Try to make your 3.
Yeah, it is a tough hole.
You're almost playing for bogey off the start.
Okay. Tell me that I never even thought about this ever, and it's probably the truth. Do you think that the course is, how long did you say? 2,600 yards?
Yeah.
It might be one of the shortest 9s in Manitoba, but it probably has the longest par 3 for women in Manitoba. That has to be the longest par 3 for women in the whole province.
It's 190 yards over trees.
Over trees. That's the longest par 3 for women in Manitoba. I would actually throw some money down on that.
I mean, most par 3s for men aren't even that long.
Very true.
I'm going to do some heavy research here. I think that's the longest par 3.
Okay, number 8, the absolute hardest hole on planet Earth, I think. Hole number 8. This is the combination of 2 par 4s. They turn into 1 par 5. It is long. It is sloped. The green on hole 8 it might be even more sloped than hole 6, actually. And there's absolutely no room for error anywhere on this hole. How are you playing it?
Like an idiot.
Eyes closed and swing away.
I think from the tee box, it's a very nice view. It's a beautiful hole. I think from the tee box, if you land on the left side of the fairway, it's kind of like a downslope sloping to the left side. If you can land into that, you're going to be okay. You're going to kind of roll down to the bottom. You're going to have a good lie. And then you just put something on the planet and try to get it up there to the green. And I would say a bogey is a good score on hole 8
But it's
for
crazy. It's like
anybody.
It's like a fairway, and then it's got the slope on both sides. The slope on the right side goes down to the ditch OB, and the slope on
Dead.
the left side puts you into the spruce trees, or on the other side, and you have to hit over or under a spruce tree to get to the green, which is the hardest green in Canada to hit to.
It's a very difficult hole.
Very hard hole.
How many birdies have you made there, Reggie, in all the years you played?
I don't know. We've played there a lot, so 6.
I could probably count them on 2 hands at least.
6 after the big lead up.
Yeah,
Probably 6.
like legit. I don't remember.
No, probably like, I would say you birdied that thing like not 5% of the time, I don't think.
Once a year, maybe. Maybe.
It's a crazy hard hole.
That's where
Not once a year, maybe like 5 times a year, 3 times a year.
not me, ever, not ever. I probably make a quadruple bogey there more than I make a par.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough hole. We don't have any local knowledge or tips for that hole. If you guys know any, let us know. We'll take it.
We can't help you with that one. Number 9. This is a beautiful hole to finish as well. It's a fairly short hole. It's probably what, 330? I'd say 330, just off the top of my head. If you hit a good drive, you can get her up there near the green. If you got some wind, is it worth it? I don't know, because the way that the hole is shaped, if you hit it dead straight and you hit a long ball, you're going to be in the bush, because it goes straight for about 250 yards, and then it starts cutting back to the right towards the green. And if you hit it straight through there, you're going to be in the bush. And I've been in that bush more times than I can count.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, actually, when you asked Drummy what the signature hole was before, this one with the clubhouse on the top left and the Canadian flag blowing in the wind, it's got to be in the consideration for the top.
Yeah,
hole.
I was thinking
Bunker
4,
short,
8, or 9.
top green. Yeah. I like 9. It's a very cool closing hole. I would say for the most part, you're probably better off to be further back with your tee shot almost, so you can hit it higher and get a little bit of stop on the ball. If you get too close, it's really tough to get it close to the pin anyways.
Yes.
But same thing, we always hit driver. Are we idiots, or?
We are.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Would you say probably the best shot then here would be
100?
If the hole 330, 100 yards out, so you want to hit about a 220, 230 yard tee shot, that's what you should be going for.
Mm-hmm.
Scrambles are different. Like we're talking hole 4, 5, 6. Like if you're playing in a scramble there, then go for it.
Green light.
I was going to say that before too. Like there's 2 totally different strategies to this course, but number 9, like if you just aim left to that hill, like there's a good 30 yards, and you're not making that back bush.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big landing area there for you to get to 100 to 130 yards out just by hitting it 200 yards or 210, right? And then that gives you a good approach. You got to go over the bunker. This green's so hard to stop it on too. Like it's a tough closing hole, man. Like
it is.
For the amount of balls you actually see get close on this green, very few.
It would actually be crazy to have, just to kind of close things out here, I think that it would be crazy to have like a decent golfer who's never played Rossman Lake before and come out and play 9 holes, I'd be very interested to see what they shot, because I think that they could either shoot 29 if they're keeping it in play, or they could 40 or 45.
Actually, it's cool you say that, because when me and Foxy were kind of in our prime, he came out for a weekend to stay at Rossman with me and mom and dad, and we played it a few times, and he was definitely low 30s 1-9, but he was definitely either 40 or higher the other 9, and it's the same thing. If you're hitting it good there and keep it in play, it can play like a really easy course, but it's super tight, and if you get loose at all, I mean, you can shoot some high numbers on that course. Like you can DNF a lot of holes on Rossman Lake.
Big time. I honestly think that it's like a smaller scale Clear Lake without all the national park around it. But like there's no room to miss anywhere. That's how Clear Lake is as well. And it's not very long.
Everything slopes away.
And everything's very sloped. It's not very long. If you're putting it in play, you have a good chance of shooting a low score. But if you're any sort of out of sync, you're gonna have a very difficult time at Rossman Lake. Like there's nowhere to go.
It's tight, like very tight. If you start spraying it, man, you're making some big numbers at Rossman Lake.
It's a challenge. I think that maybe we'll throw a little challenge of our own out here, because I do want some different challenges, some different things as we move along here in this local knowledge segment with different courses. And I think that the challenge maybe for Rossman Lake is, if you come out here, obviously get in touch with us. We'll go play 9 holes or 18 holes with you. But I would be very interested, out of all of the community here, what the lowest score would be for people who come on and play this course. I would be very interested to see what that is, because there's lots of good golfers who kind of follow along here and know about Rossman. And I think that I don't know. I think that it would be really interesting to see what the lowest score here. I think that a lot of people would be surprised at how high it is.
Man, on paper and visual from the tee boxes, it looks like a course you could just eat up, and it is on days when you're feeling it. But man, like I've been victim of it many times, and I know the course like the back of my hand, and just get absolutely lit up by it some days, especially if the wind gets up. If the wind gets up there, like on a calm day, it's not that tough, but if it's into the wind or cross winds on those tight fairways,
4 and 8 are the worst for that.
Yeah. And 5's tough too.
Yeah.
There is a lot of elevation, actually.
I'd like to see what Chaz shoots at Rossman. Try to get the course record. That's the goal for everybody listening to this, either now or later. Your goal is to try to beat Reggie's course record, unofficial course record, 29.
I'm actually kind of pumped up. That's my first course record. I didn't even know I had it.
Well, we don't know 100% that that's true.
It's mine.
Well, I mean,
there are other people that golf that course too.
If Harley, the president of the course, doesn't know the course record, then we're just gonna claim it.
Fair enough.
So that's it. First segment of Rossman Lake. I don't think we're going to go through hole by hole every course. That's not the idea here. This one's kind of our home course, home course. So we went a little bit further down the detail road than we will be getting into, especially for the 18-hole courses. But we'll be putting the next couple courses that'll be featured out hopefully in the next few days. It sounds like we've got a couple things to be announcing in the coming days. But we'll make sure to stay tuned for that, because if it is your home course, we're really hoping to get some local knowledge from the people who are there, because we don't know every course like we do Rossman Lake, and we won't be able to talk about it as in depth. So that's kind of the idea here. We go through these courses that we played, but we get the locals to give us the secrets of the course to share with everybody. If you want to, if you're the course record holder, maybe you don't want to share those secrets.
I might have opened my mouth too much tonight. Being the course record holder and all.
Okay, well, I think that's it for tonight, fellas. We'll be back here in 2 weeks from now with another local knowledge. We're going to try to do it every 2 weeks this year and see how she goes. So we'll be back for another one next week, though. We're not very far from golf. We got through the majority of the winter here. We're definitely on the downslope towards hitting some balls again.
We're
Right
3
into the
days
home
from
stretch.
golf, baby.
Golfing at Ross Burn.
Let's go.
Okay, Drummy, take us out of here, brother.
All right, boys. Well, that was one of our longest ones in quite some time.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for joining us. It was great to recap. Again, Nick Taylor, Big Dick Nick, another massive win. Huge cheers to him. And then Rossman, baby. Absolutely love it. Massively fun course. And yeah, like you said, if you can get into a scramble on that course, you're going to have yourself a time. So keep your eyes open. I'm sure there will be something coming in the future for that.
I didn't want to kill the mood too much while the show was going on. I have one major shout out, one major cheers. Local legend, local icon, local, call him what you want. Probably one of the best humans on planet Earth has passed away in Dauphin the last week. Miles Haverlick. Anybody you talk to in the whole city, region, province, probably for that matter, has nothing but amazing things to say about Miles. I worked for him when I was 20. Spent the last 10 years in Dauphin golfing with him in various events, golf trips. He took me and Fox into his place in Arizona when we were there for numerous suppers. Treated us like we were kings when we were 22-year-old bums. I can't say enough good things about Miles. I just wanted to give a cheers to Miles.
Cheers, Miles. He was one heck of a guy. Always very nice to me, and I didn't know him that well, so that was a great tribute, Reggie. Cheers, Miles.
Like Drums always says, if you guys keep listening, we'll keep putting them out. And thanks for tagging along this week.
We're out of here. Peace, boys. Love you. Later.
Love you, fellas.
See you, boys.